right, Lance Trippett, second degree black belt, has been helping me and a lot of school owners around the country get through this pandemic, and he's been doing it. You've been helping school owners for how long now?
We started, I guess, back in the spring of last year. We started just kind of like people under our association we were helping. And then back in August, September, we started kind of spreading out a little bit more to some people that needed it, like Samir Chantry and a couple of the other guys. And then that's kind of when it kicked it off, that we kind of said, all right, we'll open up to everybody.
Nice. And it's called MMA Secrets, correct?
MMA Studio Secrets.
Studio
Yep.
Secrets, yeah. I'm bad with names. But I'm always like trying to like see what's out there and like, stay current and things like that. And like I kind of looked around and like there was a gym launch and about different kind of they're good, like they're good sales and marketing kind of things. But what I really liked about you was it was martial arts,
Yeah.
and done, which is my background and yours, second degree black belt.
Yeah.
So you understood like our demographic, right? And
yeah, I think like you said, like a lot of the companies come from that fitness background. So selling fitness, I think, is a lot easier than selling martial arts, and especially a lot easier than jiu-jitsu. I think jiu-jitsu definitely takes the right person to kind of get into it. And, obviously we want to open that market up to as many people as possible, but I think it definitely is a little harder to market and a little bit harder to sell. So we just try to figure out some ways that worked really well for it, and that, we could kind of help some people do that with.
Yeah. How did you get into marketing? Is that your background?
No, so I was an electrician for 10 years.
Oh, okay.
So I was doing electrical work, and then one of my partners, Kai, and I opened up the business, the gym. Just literally every day at work, I'd be doing electric work with a podcast on, or, reading books and stuff like that. And then I just started investing more into courses and masterminds and all that kind of stuff to get as much knowledge as I could. And then, just slowly started figuring it out. And then, like I said, with some help from other people, just kind of put it all together.
Nice. Yeah, for me, like, obviously I was looking around, but what made me kind of finally do it was two guys that used to train me. One of my black belts, actually, they called me, not that they called me to do that, but we just happened to just chit chat.
Yeah.
And two people mentioned you the same day.
Right.
Yeah. And so after the second one, I was like, you know what, I talked to Jonathan, and I was like, let's do it.
Yeah, so I mean, the stuff works really well, and we try to be as helpful as possible. A lot of courses and a lot of things, it's kind of like, hey, here's the information, like run with it, do what you can, and then there's not a lot of like follow-up help. And we just try to, I kind of take it as the same thing, like most martial artists, jiu-jitsu guys aren't marketers, aren't ClickFunnels experts or anything like that. So it's like, I know people need help, so we just try to go above and beyond and do as much help as we can for people.
Yeah, for sure. You guys are always like available, and like I appreciate that. You really want to succeed. Like for me, just to be a part of something, like I really have to feel the integrity and it's authentic. And so I can't like sell something that I don't really believe in. And so like you guys do a great job with that. So,
Thank you.
Yeah. So like we're in a different world right now, right? Everything's
totally.
We're online. It's like on uncharted waters, right?
Yeah.
So like, of course things were online already and before, but now with the pandemic, we're only online, right?
Yep.
Where do you see things going?
I've been pushing people to sell for like March 15th or whatever. Like whenever this stuff started, I was like, you guys better start selling, because like things are definitely going to get scary. And then when stuff got shut down, same thing. I was like, you got to sell, because I saw a lot of people bleeding really fast. Like, man, 30 people already froze. Like, what's going on? What can I do? So I took a lot of heat early, because I was kind of like, hey, you guys got to sell this stuff. And a lot of people on Facebook and Instagram are like blasting me, like, oh, you can't sell jiu-jitsu. Like, who are you? You're not Marcelo Garcia, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, man, like what I was trying to like get across is like, man, like, yeah, like I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. I'm not going to buy, your product. You're not going to buy my product as like jiu-jitsu wise, but like there's 1,000 people in your area that have never done martial arts before.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you need to get, those are the people that you're trying to sell to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like if you're a blue belt, black belt, brown belt, whatever, you're going to probably go get one of those, Marcelo courses, Keenan courses, whatever. And that's where you'll do your studying. But for somebody that's never tried it, you got to think there's a lot of people that are scared to come into a jiu-jitsu MMA gym, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
like they've always wanted to do jiu-jitsu. Maybe they didn't have the confidence to walk in. Like, this is a really easy way for them to just like pick up the phone, like, oh yeah, like cool, I want to try it. So that was kind of my thing. It was like, you're not selling to like blue belts and brown belts. You're selling to people that have never done it. And
Right.
I feel there's a really big market for that. And not only that, it's like, people enjoy it, and you're really kind of helping people. And then that same with our kids program. We started advertising that kids program, and same thing. There's a lot of kids that were going to school all the time, didn't have time to jump on the mats, like doing other sports. All that stuff's gone. So it's like, you might as well introduce them to the martial arts and into that world a little bit. And I think there's a lot of benefits. Obviously we all love jiu-jitsu. We love to roll, and like, everybody wants to go do a technique, and then it's like, hey, when can we roll? But, I think there's a lot of benefits to martial arts outside of rolling and sparring and MMA and stuff like that. And it's like, man, just like show them that lifestyle that we have, and the healthy aspects of martial arts and self-confidence. And that's the kind of stuff I think that you can relay that over a Zoom call or something like that, like a class.
100%. I never thought I would be teaching. I'm doing more like I've been involved with this tactic system, which gives you definitely the components of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
But I never thought I would be teaching like this online, but it's rewarding, when you're able to help people.
Yeah.
I'm getting the good feelings, and if the intent is the same and you're able to get results, like,
yeah,
do it.
That's the thing. Like, we have like our like kids, my school's Conquest, and we have like our kids, little Conquest kids group, like on Facebook. And I mean, it's like, 20, 30 posts a day with like, cause we have these little like activities for them to do. So they're like washing the dishes, and the parents are taking pictures of them, and everybody's like, oh yeah, good job.
Awesome.
So it just like, it builds that engagement, that fun for the kids. They think they're like Instagram stars now. And so it's pretty cool.
Cool. Very cool. Man, how did you get involved in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? What's your story?
So I started out kind of like boxing, kickboxing a little bit. And then I moved to Colorado.
Okay.
My dad and my granddad both kind of boxed and they both boxed.
Okay.
And then I moved to Colorado, and so I had done boxing a little bit as a kid. And then when I moved to Colorado, I met some people, started training Kempo karate. And then one of the guys that was doing the Kempo in the Kempo circle was a judo black belt. So then his name is like Don Martinez. He's out in Colorado still.
Okay.
But I started doing like the jiu-jitsu and judo with him. And then from there we were like, let's fight. So then we got some fights and started doing the MMA stuff. So that's kind of where it all started back in like 90, 95, 97 time frame.
Oh, okay. 95, 97, huh?
Yeah, so I was doing like MMA. It was NHB back then, but so we were doing the different circuits around like Colorado and South Dakota and stuff like that in like early 2000s fight.
Did you fight MMA?
Yeah, I did 3 fights. Yep.
Okay.
So did okay. I was bartending at the time. In Aspen, which is a pretty ritzy place, and like I would make pretty good money bartending. And like my last fight, I broke my hand and I broke my foot, and then I was like out of work for a couple weeks, and I was kind of like, man, I just made like $300 in a fight, and I'm out of work for like 3 weeks, and I lost like $1,500 or whatever it was. I was like, this is kind of silly. So I got out of it for like 4 or 5 years, and then I ended up kind of moving back to Maryland, and then got back into just
Did you live in Aspen the whole time, or did you live in Denver?
No, I lived in Aspen. That was kind of the other thing. There wasn't a lot of training. Like I was like 5 hours from anywhere that had a real kind of gym. So
how far is Durango from Aspen?
About 5-6 hours.
Okay.
And then in the winter, you have to there's a couple kind of back roads in the summer you can get to, but Durango, you have to go around in the winter time because all the roads are closed. That's actually where my very first fight was, in Durango, and one of my buddies lived down there, and that's kind of That was back in the day, man.
Wow, no, that's crazy. Well, one of my best friends is Amal Easton.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, so he has a bunch of obviously schools and
yeah. He's all over Denver.
yeah, all over Colorado, right?
Yep.
Really, I mean, like Denver, Boulder,
Yeah,
um,
he's a Henzo guy, right?
tons of Gracie black belts.
Yep.
Yeah, he was like my big brother. He's the one who took me down to Brazil
Oh, nice.
back in those days, actually, in the '90s, mid '90s and stuff.
That's cool.
So yeah, there's a lot of history, man, in Colorado, and I mean even New Mexico, like
Yeah.
those areas. I mean that's where I'm originally from New Mexico.
Oh, so you know the name Floyd Sword?
Of course, he's my friend. Yeah, he used to
Okay, yeah. So
train with me. We used to train together. Mm-hmm.
So
Four
as
corners,
the MMA.
team Four Corners, Joey Villasenor, all those. Who else came out of there? I mean, those are it's him and Joey.
Yeah. So so the Durango fight that I was on is in Durango or whatever. So he was on that fight. I'm pretty sure he was on that fight. Actually that fight was crazy. It was like Floyd Sword, Nate Marquardt, Pat Smith, myself. Heavyweight. I think he ended up being UFC champion too. I can't think of who it was though.
Heavyweight.
Yeah, heavyweight. I can't think of it, but yeah, I mean, there was a ton of people on that card.
Yeah.
And then Floyd actually, we started, my buddy Donnie that I was saying, we started promoting some fights in Aspen. We called it Aspen Slammer. We did like 2 or 3. And then Donnie started doing some on the front range of Colorado there, Denver area. And Floyd actually came to Aspen and did a fight with us in Aspen.
Crazy, yeah. Floyd's been all over the place.
Yeah.
Crazy, that's crazy. I mean, those are the mid '90s. Is that?
It was probably
90s.
2000.
2000.
Right around 2000.
I moved back from Brazil in 2000. So I met Floyd, shortly after, probably like 2000, 2001.
Yep. Yeah, it was probably right in that like 99, 2000 time frame.
That's crazy. Floyd Sword. That's crazy. Not a lot of people.
Yeah. Dwayne Ludwig, his first MMA fight he did with us at the Aspen Slammer.
Oh, okay. Aspen Slammer, huh?
Yeah, so we did 2 or 3. I can't remember. I think it was 2, and then one got canceled. But yeah, we did, and it was like, man, we had like this whole gymnasium set up, and like the last minute, the county like shut us down. So then my buddy was like an Elks member, so we moved everything up to the Elks Club and just put mats down, and they fought in there. It was crazy.
Do you remember the Boss Rutan Invitational that they had? Those are the original, fights. It seems like,
Yeah, that's where like Pat Smith and those guys got their name from.
Dwayne, Nate Marquardt, right? That's how they came up. And then that Ring of Fire. I don't know if you had moved back by then.
Yeah, that was all Front Range Denver stuff.
Yeah, Sven Bean. I did a fight one time up there. That's crazy. It's crazy. Wow. And so how did you? So you said you promoted a couple fights.
Yep.
So where does this business sense come from?
Man, I don't know. I've been doing shit forever. Like I had like the East Coast, we have like the snowball stands, kind of like Hawaiian Ice or whatever. But like I was like 15, 13 years. It was before I drove, so probably 15 years old, 14 years old. Like I saved my money up. I bought a snowball machine and I bought some flavors. I had my little snowball stand set up. I'd sell candy at the middle school. I don't know. I always did little hustles here and there. So just something I always kind of like. I saw things and I was like, man, there's a void there. Like I could probably fill that somehow. Cool.
So how'd you become an electrician?
So when I moved back from Colorado, I originally moved back to open a business with my dad. We opened up a home improvement business, doing some home improvement for a while. Then the 2008 kind of housing crash happened. Mm-hmm. So like the business kind of tanked a little bit. My wife was in school at the time. So I was like, man, I need a steady job. And my dad knew some electrical people. And he said, hey, can you get my son a job? And got a job there and just started going. Did that for like 8-10 years, something like that, till like
8 to 10
gym
years.
started taking off.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I guess it was about 8 years I did that. Then the gym, the whole time we were kind of running the gym on the side, and then that was when it
was always called Conquest.
Yep. Yeah, so it was, we originally were like BJJ Conquest, and then we kind of changed it out to Conquest Martial Arts. That's kind of what we are now, but yeah, so. I kind of I had a cool boss that was the electrical guy who's a friend kind of, and I was like, hey man, this gym thing's kind of doing good. Do you care if I go like 3 days a week? And he's like, yeah, whatever, dude, it's cool. So then I started doing like 3 days a week electrical, and the rest I'd spend at the gym. And then I was like, hey man, I'm gonna take 2 days a week, cool. And he's like, yeah, that's cool. And then eventually I was like, hey, I'm done. Is that all right? He's like, yeah, that's awesome, man. Congratulations. So then from there, just like we just kind of took off at that point.
Nice, man. Did you ever go to Brazil?
Yeah, I've been a couple times. Actually, went in, when was it? I guess September, October last year.
Oh, last year.
Yeah, last year.
Mhm.
I guess it was around October. We went for 8 days, something like that.
Okay.
And then we went 4 years ago, 3, 4 years ago before that.
Okay.
We usually go, so Vicente's from Maceió. So he's originally from Sao Paulo, but moved to Maceió, which is like northeast Brazil. So that's kind of where he got his name and won all his stuff and has a lot of affiliates and stuff there. So we always go there and kind of
It's the
do a
Northeast.
vacation.
What state is that?
Alagoas.
Alagoas. Okay.
I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, so that's up there, northeast Brazil. So yeah, so we go there, and he does some seminars, and we'll work with some business owners down there and stuff like that, kind of help them with their schools. A lot of them kind of have gyms running out of other regular gymnasiums and things like that. So a lot of them don't have real businesses. They kind of just like sublease and things like that. So we try to help them with any business practices and stuff that they can do.
How did you meet Vincenzo Jr., your professor?
So my business partner, we were at a tournament in Baltimore, Maryland. That's where we are. And we call him VJ. So VJ was there. He was like the head referee for the Good Fight, which is a little tournament on the East Coast here. So one of my partner's dad was there, and he's like a talker. So he's talking to everybody, and started talking to VJ's wife, Anna, and she's like, oh, like, my husband's really good at jiu-jitsu, and like, you should have him come down. He'll come down and do a free class for you. And we're like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, whatever. So we like invite him down. We're like, yeah, this guy says he's good at jiu-jitsu, whatever. We'll see. Come down, like smashed everybody. He's like 140 pounds, just like destroying like 215-pound brown belts or whatever. And like, man, this guy is pretty good. This was, 10 years ago.
Oh.
So then he was in Delaware at the time. And we were in Maryland. So it was kind of like, hey, do you want to come down and teach a class or two? And he'd come down once a month at first. And then it was like, hey, come down once a week, and then 2 times a week. And then we're like, hey, dude, just move down here. We're like, we'll hook you up. We'll get you a house and stuff. So he ended up moving down. And then as the business grew, we kind of partnered up on the business side of things.
Nice. What brought him to Delaware, or how that happen?
So he got invited from another academy owner to kind of come and teach and run like the academy. And then I think that guy ran into some problems and was kind of like, hey, you're on your own. So then he found another academy that he was teaching at. And then that was like a karate kind of gym. And they were like real focused on karate. So they didn't do much of the jiu-jitsu promotion. So then as we started to grow and stuff like that, he was like, man, you guys love jiu-jitsu. Like, I like hanging out with you guys and training and stuff. So, I'll definitely come down there. And then they kind of like separated. The guy basically shut the jiu-jitsu program down. And then that's when he was like, I gotta make a switch. I got to do something.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great. The years go by, huh? That was 10 years ago.
Yeah, that was probably about 10. I think we met. So we've been in business 11 years. So yeah, it was probably about, and we had been, maybe 6-8 months before he started coming around. So yeah, about 10, 11 years.
Crazy. It's cool. Time goes by. We're in this COVID-19 situation, right?
Yeah. Crazy shit.
Yeah. It's, unless you have a partner, right? A buddy, a grappling buddy, it's kind of hard to, to do like, jiu-jitsu drills, right?
Yeah.
Doing a lot of solo and like kind of fitness things, right?
Yeah, exactly.
What do you see happening, when we open up again?
Yeah, like I've been, I don't think people will be able to, at least, people are going to do what they're going to do. But I think if you're going to, I try to run a business like a business and treat it with correct rules and things like that. So like I try to go by the laws, and we have the licenses that we need. So for me, it's like, this is my livelihood. So it's probably, you know, I don't see people being able to train jiu-jitsu together for, you know, a few months at least. We still haven't even got word of like when we'll make it into the phasing sequences that they have. So, you know, I think it's going to be, you know, 3 to 6 months that people are not going to be able to train at least the way we're normally training. Like you said, maybe we can have people come in and do solo drills and stuff like that. But as far as contact, and like I said, man, people are going to do what they're going to do probably. But as far as like a legal aspect and business aspect, like I think there's a lot of liability if you let people do that and someone gets sick, or if somebody gets infected and then they infect some other people, or you know, who knows what can happen at this point. So I definitely think jiu-jitsu is going to have the hardest, you know, jiu-jitsu MMA kind of thing is going to have the hardest comeback from this. Judo, all of those kind of like close combat kind of things.
I mean, what's gonna happen? Like if you're a wrestler, like your whole like you're in a family of generation of wrestlers. There's no more wrestling for this
not
year.
in the next 6 months. I mean, maybe if you're living with them, you wrestle and train and stuff like that, or, you know, I don't know. Hopefully they come out with some of these like antibody tests and figure out if people have been infected or if they haven't. And
I went to
I'm not a doctor, so I don't know.
I went to a place here in LA, and they do the antibody testing, right? And they said a third of the people, it's, you know, it's like probably upper middle class, like wealthy people kind of go to this place, I think. And they said a third of the people that have gone in there have tested that positive for the antibody. So they've had it. They started getting symptoms like November, December, January, you know. So I don't know. I don't know what to think. Like hospitals here, like, I mean, from what I hear, I don't know. I'm not in the hospital, but everybody that I know, and I know a lot of people, they said like, you know, it's kind of empty, you know. All the hospitals are pretty much empty, you know. As far as COVID-19 patients, that's, you know, that's for sure, you know.
No, and I think it's the same everywhere. I mean, I know Maryland just got like all these tests, so now our numbers are kind of continually going up. But you know, so I don't know how they're going to really strategize that and when they're going to say people can open up or not. You know, one of our guys, Kenny Kim, he's down in Atlanta, and I think he got noticed today that, you know, because he made a post like, hey, when are we going to be able to open up? Because Georgia's kind of like in the process of opening things back up. And I think he got a letter back today that was kind of like, man, you can't really have jiu-jitsu stuff until phase 2. And then even at that, I think it's still like social distancing and the amount of people and all that kind of thing. So, yeah, I don't know.
Add, like, you know, phase 1, they said gyms and like hair salons and those kinds of things.
Yeah, and I think they're kind of putting martial arts as like group activity, which I think, and he would be better to tell, but I think basically it's probably like solo equipment, no group kind of classes, like that kind of stuff. But again, I'm kind of shooting from the hip.
Who knows? Well, I guess we'll have to see. I mean, just like every day, every week kind of changes. Like, you're like, oh, what's gonna happen? I don't know. You know, depends with the mayor, depends with the governor, right?
Yep.
That kind of says, you know, at this point.
And I think, you know, you have your federal law and then the you know, the state law, and then the state is going to drop down to the counties or, you know, different areas like that. So, yeah, I think, you know, everyone's going to be in a different spot, but I do think it's going to take a little while for jiu-jitsu to recover, at least as far as like, you know, just normal training and things like that. You know, and I think, you know, and the other thing that I kind of have been saying for a while is that even just say tomorrow we get to be opened up and they say jiu-jitsu is fine, you know, you can do whatever training. There's still going to be a lot of people that are nervous to come in, maybe have elderly people. Parents aren't going to want to bring their kids in right away. So I think it's going to be a very big shock when doors do open up and people don't flood in. Like, it's going to be a slow migration in, is the way I kind of feel about it. So that's kind of why I'm like, man, you're going to have to be ready for the long haul here.
So what's the solution for the long haul for your success?
I think you got to sell online. I think you have to be selling a product online, not a product, but the service, whether it's, you know, martial arts, fitness, kids, something like that, some kind of thing that you can put people into a program and then start to, put the kid in the, like our little 6-week program that we have for our kids. And then you sell them into the gray belt program. And even if it's all online, you just, hey, like we have an online program now and that's what it is. And if your kid's enjoying it, you kind of keep going with it. Same with the fitness stuff, same with the fitness kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, all of it. You just gotta pivot and you gotta roll with it. Like, I think a lot of people are kind of sitting back, hoping that this thing's going to go away, sitting back, like waiting for money to come in from the feds and stuff like that. And maybe it comes, maybe it doesn't, but, man, I'm a fighter. Like I'm going to go out there and fight, and I'm going to scratch and claw my way and try to sell some memberships and try to sell some stuff to, like, promote the business that I have. So if nothing else, I'll use that online access as a way to get people comfortable with our stuff. And then when we do open up, now we can bring them into the brick and mortar kind of place.
Yeah. That's been my my thought process, basically, like just getting comfortable with this platform of online training.
Yeah.
Like I told you, I never thought I'd be doing, but here I am, I do it 6 days a week, and all my coaches are doing it, all the professors here at the gym, and man, we're having fun,
Yeah.
And man, I want to help our community. I got into this to help people be better, I know what it's done for me, so I want to spread that, right?
Yeah.
And it's just it's another way, right? It doesn't, jiu-jitsu is in the mind. Jiu-jitsu, there's a lot of ways to practice jiu-jitsu, right?
That's it.
For sure. I think, like, you have to move. You have to stay healthy, right? Stay off of the news,
Yeah.
and not get sucked into, like, that fear mentality,
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
worry. That's definitely not the way. So I just try to. That's my intent. I just try to, be a good place for the community, right? To support people.
Yeah, and that's that's the same kind of thing with the businesses that I help, like with the gyms and stuff. It's like, I look at martial arts as like a really honorable thing, man. Like I think a lot of academy owners are struggling. They're grinding every day, and what we do is actually like really noble. You're building confidence for people. You're building self confidence and self control. You're giving those kids that confidence to just go out into the world and into the schools, kind of stand up to bullies, and then all of the healthy lifestyles and stuff like that we promote. I just think what we do is an honorable thing. And, most academy owners are not millionaires and super rich or anything like that. So it's like, man, like, I just want to help those academy owners kind of push forward and make it through this, obviously, because I don't ever want to see anybody's business, close or kind of, bankrupt or any of that kind of stuff. So that's the same feeling that you have towards that community, and I have towards my community here, but also just overall community of martial arts instructors. I just feel that, we should be on a higher level. And I think we can get there. We just have to have that knowledge and kind of have that ability to say, like, hey, I'm worth more. I shouldn't be charging $99 for my knowledge. Like, we try to get everybody to raise their prices. We try to and explain why. It sounds really good to have your mats full, but if no one's making any money and the bills aren't getting paid and you're about to close, like, all those people are going to be on the street anyways. So, I just feel that there's definitely some problems in our industry as far as like owners' knowledge on how to run businesses. So I just feel like, the more we can get out there and kind of get in front of people and let them know that, like, man, what you're doing is honorable, but you should also be able to be paid accordingly to that.
Yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, it's MMA Secrets, right? There's
Yep.
okay.
MMA Studio Secrets.
MMA Studio Secrets. MMA Studio Secrets.
Yeah.
And then you have an Academy Kings sweatshirt on.
Yeah. So MMA Studio Secrets is kind of like the overall group where we just kind of give a lot of free content, and it's just a Facebook group where, like I said, I go in there, give a lot of free content, kind of just help people as much as I can in that group. And then we have like we have the Remote Academy, which is like our masterclass thing that we're helping a lot of people right now with the kind of with the COVID stuff and how to get set up online and those kind of things, how to sell over the phone. And then the Academy Kings is kind of like that next level of, so we kind of look at it as like leads, sales, and then kind of scaling that business. And Academy Kings is kind of like, you know, working on those leads, working on those sales, but then also how do you scale your business and really start dialing in the business practices. Because like, you know, like you said, a lot of instructors are on the mats 8 hours a day, training different classes and stuff like that. And when you're doing that, and then you're also answering the phones and you're cleaning the toilets and you're doing everything that nobody knows that you're doing on the backside of the business, it's hard to grow your business. So if you can start to learn how to do some of these things and then start to push them off to other people so that your staff is doing that, and then you're looking at more, how can I grow this business, get more business, get more money coming in, and start to really scale it out. And that's kind of like the Academy Kings part of it.
Running it like a business, right? Not a fight club.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. We're all martial artists at heart. So like, you know, we definitely make silly business decisions sometimes. And a lot of it's, you know, it's based off of one, just not, you know, the knowledge of not knowing what to do. And then you just see like, hey, like Joe over there is advertising $99 special. I guess I should too. Like, how am I going to beat that? So it's like not knowing those just little nuances of charging the right amount. And Joe's probably doing that because he's not making enough money. So I don't want to do that and be in that same spot. You know, so a lot of those kind of just little things that we just make mistakes early. And, you know, we made the same mistakes. We opened up gyms and we would say like, you know, grandfather in at $99. And then later we're like, oh man, like we don't have enough money. What's going on? So it's like, you know, you just got to find those value points, and those value points aren't based on what others are doing or how much money's in the community or in that. It's like, it's based on what you need to survive as a business. And then you have to figure those things out. So that's just a lot of the stuff that we kind of help people figure out. And like I said, I like to push people's limits. You know, Samir came in back in September and he was selling like, you know, $199 product. And I was like, dude, you got to bump that up to like $499. He's like, no, nobody will buy that. Nobody will pay that. So then like a month later, he's at $299. And then he's like $499. He's like, oh man, you should have told me. I was like, man, I did tell you. And he's like, you did. I messed up. I should have listened to you. But you know, you see these price points and people will buy. They're just buying thresholds, and people will buy at $199, you know, especially in person, you know, they're going to buy $199 or they're going to spend $499 or $599. Above that, you can start to, you have to do a couple different things, but those buying thresholds, the sale is the same, and people's ability to pay and jump in that is going to be the same. Online now, we've kind of found that the sweet spot is like anywhere from 99 to like 299 is the point where people start to fall off and your sales decline. But 99 to 299, it's the same sale. It's just, you have to have the confidence in the product, and you have to believe in yourself that you can sell it for that.
Yeah. I'm so like, I got my staff kind of working on doing some of these things, but yeah, my intent right now is just to kind of just help the community, you know, and then it'll come like our community has been like super supportive, like considering like this situation, you know, like some people like they obviously they lost all their income. Like, I'm not gonna expect them to, you know, like, hey man, don't like blackball them, and don't worry, you know, please trust me, just take care, you know, take care of yourself, and still try to support like everybody that, you know, all of our community, you know, our members, and you know, if they can or cannot pay at this point, just because it's such a crazy situation. You know?
No, you got to do what you can do and help as many people as you can. You know, my thing was like, I just saw a lot of people kind of like, and you know, like it's a two-way street. Like I get it, man. But like, I saw a lot of people posting like hey, if you don't keep your membership going, our gym's not going to be here.
Right.
But then those same people weren't like doing Zoom classes. They weren't like doing, you know, they weren't doing anything extra to like get people to want to do that. And there was, you know, I saw like people setting up GoFundMe pages and all of these things. And I was just like, man, like just go out and work, like, you know, like do the extra effort, and people will say like, man, I know that it's hard right now. I don't want to have to pay my gym membership, but you know what? I see these guys busting their ass. They're doing everything they can to like survive as a business, to help us keep hitting our goals, whether it's, you know, weight loss, fitness, martial arts, any of that stuff. And it's like, they're going to see that. They're going to see that work ethic from you. And then they're going to say, you know what, like, hey, keep my billing going, man. It's cool. If you're sitting on the side,
if they're able to, right? If they're able to.
yeah, yeah, exactly. If you're able to, you know, if you're not, it's totally understandable. And even the people that came to us and said, hey, like, you know, I can't keep paying, whatever. Like, we keep them in the groups. They still get the videos. Like, you know, we're not kicking them out of the stuff or anything like that, because, you know, you got to look at it like, how would you want it to be for you?
Yeah. Again, it goes back to the honor thing, and I think that's the difference between us and like a 24-hour fitness, right?
Yeah.
Is that it's that respect, right? And so.
Yep.
They, you know, we give to them and they give to, you know, it's like it's reciprocal. So that's, I mean, I think that's what's kind of keeping us around, and we're able to still support our staff and keep everybody together, you know.
Yep.
Hopefully this thing is not as long as you're saying, you know, like,
I don't know.
months, man. And I know like our California governor is trying to, I think he wants to run for president. So he wants to kind of, you know, make sure he does everything like super strictly, you know. But I want to do what's right, of course, you know, with keep everybody safe. And but it's just kind of a crazy situation, you know. Like my dad, he's on a home, you know, he's in an assisted living home, and my sister called me not last night, the night before, saying that he has COVID-19.
Oh my gosh.
And so like, man, it's like it's just such a crazy situation. He's in jail pretty much.
Yeah.
For Easter, we had to go visit him like through like a glass window, like we couldn't see him. It was like we had to talk on his phone for him to hear our voices. And our kids had to like put the cards on the glass window. It was like straight up, you know.
So
He's in prison, and it's so sad because his health isn't too good. But like, man, I don't know what to. They moved him because he was like a Green Beret in Vietnam, so they moved him to like a veterans hospital, you know. But like he's like totally out of his element now. He doesn't, you know. You have nurses and people that you know, and at least the home. But now it's just like I don't even know what to do, man. I can't let him. If he's like he's super tough, like I know in spirit and in physical. I don't think he's gonna kick it. You know, he's not gonna go out like that. But man, if he's holding on and I hear something, like I don't know. That's simple. I'm not gonna let my dad die by himself.
Yeah.
You know? There's no way.
Because they have to quarantine and stuff.
I'll quarantine. I'll go and quarantine with them, you know, for a month, whatever we have to do, you know. But that's just ridiculous in a lot of these situations that we're in, like all over the country, you know. It's like a lot of this fear, you know, and it's just, I don't know, man. I can't live like that, you know.
Yeah, it is brutal, and I mean, man, I really feel sorry. You know, that whole situation is just terrible. So sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that everything's gonna be okay, you know. But it sucks that he has to go through it, you know. Like
especially alone like that. Yeah,
talk about disrespect, you know. Like, man, like I don't know. I guess we're just not prepared, right, for situations like this.
No,
that's why we're gonna probably have a lot of different changes happening after this situation.
Yeah,
but it's hard to tell, man. It's hard to tell too with everything going on with the news, like, you know, this sensationalism. Like one person says one thing, another person says the exact opposite thing, and you're like, okay, what's right, what's wrong, you know? And a lot of it's like to just create fear too, right, in us.
Yeah, well, I think and you know, everybody's got their political spin, like you said. Your governor wants to be president. I think Maryland, you know, Hogan over here is the same thing. He's looking at some president stuff, so he's trying to be the superstar. And man, you know, I'm a conspiracy theorist, and like I guarantee these governors are making some kind of money off some of this. The longer they can shut it down, you know, some extra funding coming in or something. So I don't know.
Man, it's crazy, man. And the triple P, like the care pack, you know, grants or whatever, the funding, the fact like how Wells Fargo just like all these big banks just like, you know, took care of their buddies, and then like all the small businesses were left out in the cold. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, you would think that they would learn, but they don't. And because I guess there's never any repercussion. So it's kind of like, I'll still grease your palm like you just grease mine.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing. They're too big to fail in a way, right? So it's like,
yeah, absolutely.
What's the solution? Just go to the smaller banks, right? Go to our local credit unions. I think that's gonna be a big change. Like I know how I feel.
Yeah,
you know, I just feel like these guys have been banking with Wells Fargo for probably over 20 years, and I'm like, man, like screw these guys, you know?
Yeah, they're not looking out for us. That's for sure.
Oh man, it's crazy, you know. So like, you know, and like the local shopping local and sustainable thing, it's really going to change a lot of things, you know, even like our stuff, our imports and things from China. And
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting to see how the things change after this, you know?
Yeah, I definitely think some businesses will be moving out of there, and because you can just see with the supply chain problems and things like that, and the tariffs, and yeah, there's definitely going to be major impacts from this.
Like everybody's going to be affected. 100% of the people, maybe you're not directly affected by it, indirectly you're going to be affected by it. Like not probably 95% of is probably they're directly affected by it, and the rest of the 5, indirectly. Everybody's affected by this whole thing.
Absolutely.
Crazy time. And I think like in a couple months, who knows? We don't know, right? But
Yeah.
in a couple months, I think really we're gonna really see where things stand. Just so many people losing their jobs, like losing their income. Okay, like how do we fix this? How do we get back to work? Because it's crazy, right? Like we had to shut our doors, right? I mean, I shut my doors before, once I knew it was like the right thing to do. That's what I did, like before it was mandated, because it was the right thing to do. Once I did my research and I did a podcast with a doctor that was he's a advisor for the pandemic show on Netflix.
Oh,
He wrote like a really good article for Vice, and so we were talking, and he told me he's like, yeah, there's no way you can be safe with jiu-jitsu, right? There's no way, like you're breathing on each other, and
yeah.
I wanted him to give me something, that I could hold on to, but there was just nothing, and there's just no way.
He's like, no, man, no good.
Yeah, so it was what it was, and did have to do what we have to do to keep self-defense of keeping our students safe, right?
Absolutely.
I thought like a big part of it was like to flatten the curve, right? And I feel like I don't know, man. I don't even know the situation, right? Who knows what is what, at this point. But I feel like we've done a good job of flattening that curve, right?
Yeah.
That I talked to in that field.
Yep.
So
yeah,
like,
they were worried about that peak where you're going to get the mad
Right.
rush and then there's no ventilators and there's
Right.
no beds and all that stuff. Yeah, I
Right.
think we've definitely kind of got that to where we're pretty secure on that, I believe.
Yeah, like that now they have the ventilators, and they're saying the ventilators, if you put them, they don't work, right?
Yep.
And then I mean, like how about the
win,
herd,
man.
and then
You can't
you
win.
get the whole in herd immunity, right? Opinion, but like really like smart people, right? It's like, okay, and then you get all to the you talk about the conspiracy theories with Bill Gates, and wanted to put nanotechnology into everybody so they can track everybody. It's like,
Yeah, it's too much.
I mean, we don't know, right? I mean, you can't debate that. You can't even like. That's like,
No, yeah,
oh,
we've got no knowledge of it.
right? But I can't picture Bill Gates like just the way he is, like having that big, doing.
You can't see him like petting the cat, like the
yeah.
Austin Powers.
Yeah. But it's still like, I mean, that the herd immunity, just like it makes sense, right? So I'm gonna talk to my friend in Sweden. He has a jiu-jitsu gym out there, so I'm curious to see what he says, how they're doing things there, because he is still open.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm curious to see how he's doing things there, and then you want to do the right things, right, for your students, right?
Yeah. That's the thing, and then again,
not be a blind sheep, do everything legal, and all that, but like don't be a blind sheep too, right? And yeah, because enough is enough. I mean, it's crazy, man. It's like some of these situations, like everybody's so scared, and then California has been really cool, but I know some other places too, like people like snitching on other people, and
Yeah, we had people around here. It was like $5,000 fine.
Yeah.
It was a year in jail, and then they're arresting people and business owners, like even just going in for like, I don't know if it was martial arts or not, but they said they had given out warnings for people teaching live classes, like Zoom classes,
right,
in their facilities.
Right.
Yeah, they didn't even want you in the facility.
Yeah, I mean, I know, like we're allowed to do all that, so that's. But if we weren't, like, we would do it out of our houses. But it's, it gives us some kind of normalcy, right, to be able to come into our place of work, and we're paying rent. Like, why wouldn't we be allowed to come into our place of business, right?
Yeah, you would think.
Man, like it's like a movie, right?
That's too much like common sense. Like that, of course, that doesn't work.
Oh man, it's just crazy, right? Like you have to stay home no matter what, but if you need to go out, go ahead, like, and it's like everything.
Yeah,
like,
that's kind of my thing. It's like, all these things are so bad, but then we'll have like lines at Lowe's, lines at Home Depot,
Costco,
lines at Walmart.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, everybody's just out there doing whatever anyways.
Yeah. So I don't know. A part of me is like, man, the herd immunity, and I don't know, man. Nothing's guaranteed, right?
Nah,
Every day is a blessing, right? That we're alive, we're
absolutely.
talking, about these things, but nothing's guaranteed. I mean, we're spinning on we're flying through the universe, so fast on a spinning rock, right?
That's
And
it.
like, I mean, the fact that we're alive and we're talking like this, like
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
amazing.
blessing, right? Yeah. So nothing's guaranteed, and things like this kind of put things in perspective. Even
That's
us
for
being
sure.
able to train jujitsu, right, with our friends and live that healthy jujitsu lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
Like nothing's guaranteed. Nothing's
No, yeah,
guaranteed.
and luckily, like, I got three daughters, and
Oh wow.
I'm a busy dude in general,
How old are your
and then I'm
daughters?
also like a work kind of dude in
Yeah.
general. So, a lot of times I catch myself where I'm not focusing on the kids as much as I
Right.
should.
Right.
So it's been nice actually to be able to go on some bike rides in the afternoons and
Mhm.
set up the campfire out back and stuff like that. So the good things of getting some cool things out of this as well, I
Silver
guess.
lining, right? How
Yep.
old are your daughters?
5, 7, and 9.
Oh wow, amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. I have a 12-year-old boy, and then he's almost 13 actually, and twin girls, 11 years old.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I've been working too hard though. I've been working too hard. I feel like I gotta like, just because the school's so big, I want to make sure I can do everything I can do to set us up
Yep.
to do good, and to grow and to thrive, no matter what.
Yeah.
I believe in jiu-jitsu. I believe in martial arts, what it can do for people, and I want to give my heart and soul to make that happen, in our
Absolutely.
community for people to benefit. So I really thank you for what you do, because you're definitely helping all of us out in the community, and everybody's kind of, and together I think we're definitely stronger together, and
Yeah.
yeah, thanks for hanging out and talking. Do you have any recommendations for a business owner, a school owner, a martial artist, to get through this situation?
Uh, you know, uh, Martial artists, you just got to stick with your team. Try to jump on the calls with them and get in the classes.
Yeah,
Man, if nothing else, just hang out and say hello to everybody. We're all like, we say we're all family all the time. So it's, go ahead, I try to do like an hour in the morning. I do kind of like a little reading, and then I just take like an hour and I try to message a few people,
yeah,
and I either message on Facebook or call, text message. I just try to reach out to a few people every day, just say hello, see how they're doing, because you never know what struggles people are having.
yeah.
So that's kind of that personal mindset kind of stuff, and then business wise, man, I'm just like, you got to fight for your business. Like, this is, I think there'll be a lot of people that, we talked about it already, where people have grinded 5 years, 6 years, and they're not making much money, and they're doing all this work. There's going to be a lot of people that use this as like an escape. So it's like, hey, I closed my doors, I couldn't make it, whatever, and they're going to kind of throw in the towel, and you can't blame them. Again, you don't know what their situation is, so I'm not going to, blame them for that. But, I think this is, I say like, this is a way to build a legacy. Like, pressure and like all of the things that are happening right now. Like, you have two options. And I say this all the time, like, you have two options. You're either going to get crushed and you're going to be like dust and you're done, or you're going to come out stronger like a diamond is.
Mhm.
So you have to take these opportunities. And this is an opportunity. This is a new revenue source for people.
Mhm.
Um, but you got to take these opportunities and run with them. They're not going to last forever. Things are going to go back to normal, I guess, at some point. And if they do, cool. And if they don't, like, you got to adapt and you got to keep moving forward. Just say, like, I call it sink or swim. You got to
Mhm.
either keep swimming or you're going to end up drowning.
That's it. Well said. Well, thank you, Lance. Thank you,
Cool.
man. Yeah, really great to talk to you, and I gotta show you some tack with things one of these days.
That'd be great, man. I appreciate it.
The club bells, like they look like bats,
Yeah,
wave
yeah.
bats, and body weight, like really high, super technical, like body weight movements, and it goes so well with jujitsu. And like a situation like this is actually like the perfect thing to have, for the students.
I
Like
love it, man.
so
Definitely. Sweet, man. I appreciate you having me on as well. And, like I said, I'm always here to help anybody. So, um, Lance Trippett, I think, on Instagram. So,
mhm.
uh,
Great.
reach
Yeah,
out anytime. MMA Studio Secrets group.
great. Awesome.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lance. Thank you.